Welcome along to BT Murrayfield. Silver Saturday continues being a dramatic day on the main pitch here and on the back pitch. It's been an exciting day, and now we move on to the men's BT Cup final, and it's a rematch of the Premiership final of 3 weeks ago. That was at Millbrae. Ayr had the home advantage and they were the victors. We are on the big Murrayfield stage, the BT Murrayfield stage, for this grand occasion. It's a quick turnaround from the most exciting games I think you'll see in a while in the Shield, with Berwick coming back to beat Greenock Wanderers in extra time. So it'll be a big task for these two to try and match that, but good luck, fellas, on that pitch. Quick look at the teams. Not too much change from that playoff final, which was 3 weeks ago for Ayr. Their 15 is unchanged from that playoff final. There is two changes on the bench. Robin Nairn comes in, has been released from Glasgow. Also Craig Miller in for the injured Ewan McLaren on the sidelines there. For Heriots, one change from their squad. They are unfortunately missing Craig Robertson. Rory McMichael comes in onto the starting side. That's a little change from the team you can see there, and there's been one or two changes from the announcements yesterday, but most of those players you see there are in order, and we'll pick out one or two changes, particularly from the bench, when the game gets going and throughout. Keith Allen is the referee in the middle, leading the officiating team with Finlay Brown and Ian Kelly. And here we go then, it is Heriots in their white and navy hoops to get us going in the cup final on this big day, Silver Saturday here at BT Murrayfield. Ayr scoop up in their pink and black hoops, traditional colours for both these sides. As I say, it's a change up from that Premiership final where we're on neutral territory. Kicked up long, and here comes Simpson, Charlie Simpson, Irishman. It's a big hit in there early on, right on halfway. Support came in, Summers there trying to keep this going, wheeling around. Good early face off hands, support coming in and Blaine perhaps, but instead the tackle is taken. Summers there, and now flung across by Edwards. That fly half figure, that is a little dribble. Didn't go forward from Linus, so it did go forward from Linus in the end. Referee signalling that, and for the first time this afternoon, alongside myself, Cal Patterson, is Brian Easton, Academy Skills coach with Scottish Rugby, part of the women's coaching team as well. Brian, it's been an excellent day so far, some great rugby, and hopefully this delivers the kind of particular first half in that playoff final 3 weeks ago.
Well, look, the playoff final 3 weeks ago was an excellent game. It was end-to-end stuff. It was 7 tries within that game, 4 tries for Ayr and 3 tries for Heriots. But you're right, from the games earlier on, what a game they've got to follow. 55 or 57 points for Berwick in that last game. So look, I think both sides will try and do a little bit of attacking. A beautiful day here at Murrayfield. Pitch is looking brilliant. So a really exciting game to look forward to.
And there's the first scrum then. In it comes War. Just marshalling it, and the referee not happy, so it'll be a reset. Excellent crowd, and the Pink Panthers are down in the bottom below us in this west stand, plenty dressed in pink. There was 6 buses, I believe, leaving from Millbrae. There's a disco tonight as well, whatever the score. It's a big celebration for the terrific season they've had, and I think the sense is from the Peter Murtry and one or two of the players is that the pressure is up a bit. Double would be massive for Ayr, but they have won the big carrot of the league, and now it's just all about enjoying the experience with the added glory of the double potentially. And this time penalty signal by the referee, so Heriots not winning the early couple of scrums here. Guess for your positive signs early on in the front line.
Yeah, I mean it's an interesting one. I think you look at that in the cup final as well. So the league final, Ayr I think probably had the upper edge or the upper hand in the scrum and the line out. And it's interesting just to see their first scrum penalty after 2 minutes, and then they're kicking to the corner as well. So I thought they mauled Heriots very well in that game as well. So it'll be interesting just to see how the Heriots defence is taken on here.
So then it is the Ayr line out from Robbie Smith. Now they can try and use that momentum they've got early on, perhaps to try and maul something, but good counter mauling there from Heriots. Doesn't really go too far, so Ayr are going to try and fling things out wide. And big support coming through the middle. There's players out wide here, plenty of players out wide. Surely Rose furthest wide, what a pass, and he's in the corner. Did he make it down? Chat between the assistant and the referee. Time off, and we'll see. It is going to be a try. Flung right across, wonderful long pass, and early spoils go to Ayr.
It was a great pass out there. If you look at that, and an interesting finish. I've been surprised he never went up the stairs for that one, but you just look at this little finish here, just on the left hand wing here. Oh yeah, I think he really did it. Well finished with his left hand.
21 years of age, former Falkirk player. Scored a couple of tries against Heriots in that final. Now time for the extras. Fraser Climo, been around for a while. Ayr had a couple of years or so pro at Scarlets, the Kiwi. Add the extra 2 points here. Just going to curl away, so it'll just be the 5 points, but Ayr will be encouraged by the play that broke up and they found the space to find the try in the corner.
Yeah, look, I think it was a good score. To start with, Stafford McDowell actually went in the first receiver from the scrum. Here's the kick that just goes across the front of the post there. It's just a left footer. It's a difficult side for the left footer kicker, but just came across. But no, a good start from Ayr. Scrum penalty and then an into try.
They're taken there by Lars Morris. You're burrowing in there, just watching behind Rory says, but I'll probably gain territory. Taken by Simpson the Irishman. Summers' little side move, just getting a bit time on the ball here. Heriots after slightly stunned with that early try for Ayr. Good pass there by Jones, and still stuck in that halfway kind of zone. And there came Cessford. Okay, decided to leave that going in there in the back, so Simmers just keeping things slow. In fact, leaves it for Blaine. Not going too far forward here. Ayr are trying to make a mess of it. Stephen Longwell, big Ayr prop, uses 124 kilos to disrupt things. Not gone far at all, but Heriots do have it still. Driving and driving is Scott, and then he had some further support. They're now inching towards the 22. Weave and a twist there on McDowell, one of the couple of Glasgow players released that are starting. Patient play. Neil Sinclair with one or two instructions. He briefly had it. Pick number 5. Just trying to tease things open here. Kick and chase should be comfortable for Anderson, and just leaves it to go out, but still in a decent position if they can win the ball from the throw in.
Yeah, I think Heriots have kept the ball for quite a few phases in the middle of the pitch. The 2 kicks they've had to put in, I think Ayr will be happy with their defence, and then Heriots will be with their attack at the moment. They look quite comfortable at Ayr. They're not really competing too much at the breakdown, and they had 2 kicks in there. One from Andrew Simmers, who maybe a little bit short, that Josh Scott popped up again, and then they kept attacking. But some good defence from Ayr so far.
So Robbie Smith, it is one back there, towering high. There was Wilson and McLean, and now they've got the advantage here from the referee. Penalty may well come as Ian Wilson, their captain, strides in. Little crossfield from Edwards. That's going to be taken with ease by Anderson. But they will come back here for the initial penalty. Just 1 or 2 players down. I think they're going to go for 3 points. They are, just to get themselves a footing. As I say, patient. They got up to there, did well to win the ball back from the throw-in, and now they've been rewarded from the next phase, effectively getting the penalty, and they can reduce their ears quite quickly.
Yeah, they'll be pleased with that. I mean, I think, as I said, Ayr's defence was quite good. Heriots had to put a little kick in, they'd try and get in behind them. Ayr got the line out and lost the line out. It was a bit of an underthrow there from Robbie Smith at hooker, and then from the turnover there's been a high tackle. So a penalty for Heriots. Ross Jones, ex-Welsh Sevens and Ospreys player, will be hoping to pop over, being a top point scorer for them this season.
So 10 minutes played. Taking his times here, Ross Jones. That's easy and true from Jones, the Welshman. And Ayr 5, Heriots 3. It's going to be one of those seesaw sort of games which we've seen a few weeks back in that final. And another good bit of play. Heriots have reduced their ears. Good kick. Game on. Side still trailing by a couple of points here. It's now looking to try and work from deep. Crash ball. Oh, that's not the best there from Simmers. Where on earth is that going to go? Well, the prop saving things there, Cessford. Eventually found some time and space. It's going to stay in play though. Bit more height in that. Up and under from Claymore. Morris right at the bottom in the middle of that tackle for Ayr, trying to stop Heriots and barging forward. And that's great play there to put it out into touch. Ayr looking to fire it on quickly, and that's miscommunication. War trying to speedily get back using his pace, but ambition not quite ready though. Ayr may well have it with Spinks, who was Ayr Player of the Month for February and March. Tackle in from Struan Dewar, and a penalty for Heriots. And certainly in this second phase of the opening stages, Heriots are seemingly on top.
Yeah, you would say. I mean, Ayr will be disappointed. Heriots' kicking game has been quite disappointing so far. Andrew Simmers has put in 2 poor box kicks that they have managed to get back, but seriously not helping them with their territory. Ayr for me, that silly mistake trying to go quickly. We're only 12 minutes in the game. They're 5-3 up. They just need to get a little bit more of a foothold in the game rather than throwing in making silly mistakes. So they've just allowed Heriots to get into their own half and allow Heriots just to get a little bit of momentum going in their game.
Michael Linus getting some instructions. Has features for the Scotland club team, former under-20s Scotland player a number of years ago now. Another penalty, and well, that didn't last too long for Heriots. As obstruction there, interference in Ayr will get the penalty at their side.
Again, that's just both sides, just silly penalties, just not quite, they're not allowed to keep the ball for long enough. It's just been turnover after turnover because of silly mistakes. So the coaches that'll be the messages the coaches will be getting in. Look, let's just keep the ball, let's stop, look after our discipline and stop giving away these silly penalties.
Ayr, last winners of this competition in 2013, and this real terrific spell they've had in the last decade of winning trophies. That was squint though. Another little silly error. Now these two did play 3 weeks ago. Ayr had the home advantage, but both on neutral ground, big crowd on the big BT Murrayfield pitch. I guess there'll be quite a bit of nerves, even though some of these players have been here before. Yeah,
both sides have been here before. I think both sides within the last 6 years have won the cup here. But just the first 15 minutes of the game, you're right. I think it looks quite nervy. 3 silly mistakes. That's 2 lineouts Ayr have lost in the first 15 minutes. They'll be disappointed at that because that has been a strength of theirs this season. And Heriots have given away a couple of silly little penalties as well. So look, both sides want to try and get rid of the nerves. They want to get into the game, and then once they get into the game, hopefully we'll start to see a little bit more flow into this.
Yeah, Heriots last one, and I was here in 2016 watching on against Melrose. 21 points to 13. A certain Alan Cochrane scoring a couple of tries. Certainly doing decent things now. It's taking a little bit of time to settle these scrums. Put in by Simmers and quickly away from the Heriots scrum half. Good play there. Good run there. Blaine making the move. Time there for Anderson.
Heriots will be quite pleased with that. A good winning scrum, a right-hand scrum. The man just threw it through a cut play in the middle, just getting to an edge. Rory McMichael coming off his wing and just giving that extra number to Jack Blaine with a kick going through. And the fact they put that kick through, they've now got their own ball back in the 22. So they'll be pleased that was a scrum in their own halfway. They've now got a line out in the far 22. So a good 2 minutes there for Heriots.
It's going to go deep. It's not reached anyone in white and navy, and now there could be a break on here for Ayr. Trying to help it back there. Spinks on the floor. Oh, and almost the interception. Unfortunate there for Kay. Penalty comes though for Ayr. Oh, look at that. Almost the moment. And he's been pinged at for trying to get the ball.
Yeah, look, it's just the laws nowadays. Even if you are going for it, it's a penalty against you. He'll be saying his hand was going up and he was trying to keep it, but it's a penalty against. I don't think there was anything other than that. The referee wasn't going to look at a card or anything silly like that. But it was an opportunity for Heriots. Again, it comes back to a lost line out from Heriots over the far side. That's another. Both sides are just giving the ball back a little bit too cheaply, and that's it's frustrating for both sides.
Yeah, looking to keep hold of their line out. Ollie Smith, a youngster, 20 years old, the hooker on this big stage. And They did keep the hold of the ball. Or through for Kobernice, scored a stunning try in the semi-final, in the final rather, the playoff. Big number 4 unit. It's a right old scrap in there. Morris trying to help it back for his scrum half. Or again in there for Longwell, who was down 2 or 3 minutes ago at the other end of the pitch, but okay. Now running through some phases, which they did in the move for the opening try. Flung wide again by War into the other side. Out there was Kelly. McCluskey far out if needed. Crashing in is Morris. And there, Morris once more involved. Plenty in there in the front line. It's a bit slow through the middle. It's stuck in that 22 magnet. Perhaps a little bit of space now out wide there for McCluskey. And there comes McPherson. It's Body's trying to stay out the way. Longwell. The big guys are getting a bit of a run out here in this phase of movement, but now they could fling it out wide. Coming in there was Kelly. Heriots disrupting that. Still with Ayr. The narrow lead in the opening 19.5 minutes. Almost trying to weave through the scrum half. Anderson takes auxiliary scrum half roll in towards Kobernice. Australian. Five metres short. That bobble out illegally, it did. Penalty. Hands on the ruck.
Yeah, look, Heriots were under pressure there. I think you look at the phases that Ayr went through. There's some outstanding play there. You look at Lars Morris in the middle, and big number 5 for Ayr. Stevie Longwell carrying as well. The two of them have put in a big shift in there over the last few phases, and the Heriots just, they had to do something there to stop Ayr. Some good play. You look at the way that Fraser Clyme was just controlling things. He's putting the forwards up if they needed. As I say, the 2 big forwards, front 5 carrying up through the middle, and then they're going out the back when they've got a chance. So you know what, they're going to keep this Heriots defence under a lot of pressure playing like that.
So a bit of treatment across there. I think across there is Michael Linus. So just a little bit of breather. The amount of forwards in each phase going on there, I'm not surprised. A little bit of a breather needed, but there is some blood there for the big number 2.
Blood or sawdust with Michael Linus, you just never know what that could be.
Certainly it's a long face of play. There is a Ayr player down as well on that far side, so a little bit of a breather. As I mentioned before, the crowd certainly enjoying the entertainment today. Some have been in all day, others have came in as the days went on, and good support from both teams in this final. Remember as well, it's not over yet, particularly on the main pitch. The Sarah Beanie Cup will follow this game in BBC Alaba with John Hill against Watsonians.
There's an interesting decision there from Ayr in this penalty, going for a scrum. Obviously, a couple of times they've looked quite dominant in that scrum. So, scrum 5 metres out, they're looking to to have a go. When they scored the first try, they put in Stafford McDowell at first receiver. That's how they got to an edge earlier on. I just see Stafford just coming up a little bit flattered to Fraser Clymo, just coming out the back there. See, if you just see it in your picture there, the 12 is a little bit flatter than the 10. So they're obviously looking to do something there.
Right, okay, so we're going to do a bit of, I think you need a changing room for these fellas.
Michael Linus is apparently a personal trainer.
Yeah, so we're going to have a number change there. So Linus taking the number of Ali Johnson at 16 for now, because there's blood on the shirt. I don't know if that means if the substitute has to go and get a wash machine just now. So a bit of a delay. But there has been one or two line-outs on both sides that haven't worked. You can see why the scrum at this area would be the option. Attack from War. Big build-up.
Yeah, again, you can just see that they're just playing around a little bit. The Ayr, that back division, they're just their little setup. They're just going to keep Heriots a little bit honest. Obviously, it's a little bit easier for Heriots inside the 22. The fullbacks in the line, so they've got a, it's a difficult place for the Heriots boys to defend. However, but I think you're looking at McDowell coming in at first receiver here, and just a little play around him and Climo.
So again, just taking a bit of time to get this set and stable. War is at the back. It's another penalty. Pete McCallum, the Ayr captain, was coming out with it, but referee signalling. The penalty count for both sides, just etching up that little bit.
Yeah, I think Stevie Longwell's given Josh Scott a tough time over that far side. I think the young loose head who's come from Stuart's Melville, I think he's Stevie Longwell's long in the tooth. He's been carrying well, but you look at the dominance in that scrum as well. So they'll be putting a little bit of pressure on that scrum.
Yeah, 124 kilos of weight there, Longwell, for the big 6'1" player. Been around in the west of Scotland with his rugby, previous at Hill at John Hill. West of Scotland had a stint up at Dundee as well. I think one or two are going for a lemonade in the stand because it's taken a bit of time. It's been stuck down there for at least a good 5 minutes.
Keith Allen's got his work cut out down here with these two front rows here. I think they're having a real go at each other. Some wily characters in there. There's Struan Sesford and Michael Linus. Strong prop and hooker. And you've got Stevie Longwell, as we're discussing, in there as well. So there's some wily characters in there for Keith Allen to keep an eye on.
I guess Heriots will need to try and keep the steady. War just waiting and waiting. It's come up again.
Yeah, that one just came up. That was an honest scrum. That one, Stevie Longwell came up a little bit early, and the referees decided to reset. But you're right, we've been down here for quite a while. There's, it's Ayr want to come away from here with something. They've had the ball for the last kind of 5-10 minutes. They've kept the phases. They've really put Heriots under pressure. They've now got the scrum down there. They'll be desperate to come away with at least something.
It's getting rather cloudy. It wasn't the forecast of it. I think it's coming now. It is definitely coming down now. Maybe put the spare, that number 2 jersey out, and maybe get that washed with the rain that's coming down. It's hosing it down now. Sun has disappeared. That's popped right out there for War. He's going to have to use it surely. No, he instead waits for McCallum, who's picked up. Hasn't really progressed too far though. Into Sace. Big number 1 prop in here. Comes McPherson. They're going patiently, trying to get ever closer. Battering over there on that line. I think is that Climo in there. Inch and short. They think they've got it down. They have got it down.
Yeah, it looks like Robbie Smith there.
Yeah. It is the hooker, the youngster. Well, welcome to BT Murrayfield, to the youngster in this big stage. The 20-year-old has got a big try. Ayr took their time from that scrum that eventually came out, and then they worked their way to the other side.
Yeah, they've gone far side. Fraser Climo, he's a strong 10. He had a good carry, and then they've just come back again short side. You look at that, the defence, simple one out pass to Robbie Smith. Young Robbie, who's in the academy, he's been under 20s cap. He's actually away to Bedford next year. He's a good young rugby player, a good tough runner. And when it comes to 2-3 metres out, he's going to be difficult to stop.
Yeah, he's enjoying this stage in this cup final, but he has had experience captain under 20s, and he's certainly highly thought of
Well, he made his Glasgow debut this year as well. You know, he's been involved with the Warriors. He's been in there or thereabouts, captain in the under-20s. So, you know, a good young rugby player. And as I say, you know, somebody with his kind of stature to get the ball 1-2 metres out, he's going to be difficult to stop.
So Clemo missed the first conversion, slightly more at a decent angle, and he gets the extras this time. Ayr 12, Heriots 3. We've seen after the first try, Heriots responded. They had a good 5-7 minute spell, but Ayr have had a good last 8-9 minutes, and they've been rewarded for their persistence in that phase of scrums.
Yeah, you would say so, and I think that's just come down to them keeping the ball, using their front five, a lot of good carries, and they've really put the Heriots boys under a lot of pressure. And you say after 26 minutes that Ayr are deserving of the 12-3 scoreline at the moment.
Well, all 3 times Ayr have won this competition. They've beaten Melrose every time, so it'll be a bit of a change for them to beat someone else. Stephen Long have been told to leave it. That is a melted kick, not quite going out though. And Heriots looking to run with their fullback, Charles Simpson. And here comes McLean. Been man of the match several times this season, the Englishman. Comes back there for Simmers, and kick which only finds an Ayr body in Anderson. That is going to come back though for the slight knock on, which is a bit unfortunate.
I think so. I think he's kind of arguing that he didn't really knock it on, but I think there was a little knock on there. Again, Heriots for me, they're just not, their front five aren't carrying as well as the Ayr front five at the moment, and Edwards had to sit back in the pocket and kick. They've got away with that. I think they have kicked. Their kick chase wasn't great, but there was a little knock on. So they've got to make the most of this. They've not had a lot of ball. They've now got a good set piece inside the Ayr 22.
Let's hope we're not here for 5 or 6 different scrums. Heriots with the foot in this time. Perhaps looking for the success Ayr had down the other side. They can work something from a scrum. And Ayer's 22, and it is flung out quicker. Robert Kay in the centre there, held up and been told to release. There was his opposite number in McDowell. That's a great play there from the Ayr defence, but they pushed them back, not quite getting the ball back. Michael Lennis in that 16 jumper in the middle of all that move. That's a lovely pass there, and surely there's going to be a try, and there is the reply. What a score there. Charles Simpson with it, and just like when Ayr scored in the opening 5 minutes, Heriots reply with 3 points. This time they reply with a try.
Yeah, it's interesting that Heriots have been kind of going around the same way. You see that there was a play from 10. Edwards went around the outside of Robert Kay, and the way that Ayr have been defending, there was an inside pass to Jack Blaine, and after his line break, it was then a nice simple pass for Charlie Simpson to get pretty much under the post. So a good reply from Heriots. They've not really had a lot of ball, but you would say from that one they really burst the Ayr boys wide open. Interestingly, from the first scrum, I thought Ayr overfolded a little bit early, and Heriots went short side. Harry Waugh defended it very well. They were really getting into them, but that inside pass was just something I think they maybe had a little bit of information from the touchline.
Kick is good, and we're back to a 2-point game. And well, Heriots started really quickly in the final of the Premiership with a 10-point lead at Millbrae, and they were clawed back, and in a seesaw game it turned out to be. Ayr had that little cushion, but that quickly went, and that was a good kick. A tight, cracking contest for a neutral with a few errors in there, but it's nevertheless been a good watch as the rain still burrows its way down on the BT Murrayfield pitch. Well, Heriots are looking to be the most successful side in this competition. They are level with Melrose and Bournemouth, 4 wins since the establishment of the competition in the mid-90s, and they'll be the first side to get to 5.
And number 7 leaving, Jack McLean, being replaced by Martin Hughes, number 20.
So a couple of changes for Heriots, with Martin Hughes coming on. And now the break on the far side here. Won't worry about the subs for now, as just forward there, a little grubber through there from Simmers. Ayr trying to back, it's kind of hacked on and it's having to be dealt with very quickly. A bit hear him, scare him, that from almost nothing. 1 or 2 Ayr breaths, sighs of relief. So Heriots with throwing in, Marshall takes. Oh, it's a risky pass, but it is picked up by Simpson. But it's popped forward and Ayr will claim. Surface and ball getting a little greasy now.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure put on that pass. Stuart Edwards a little bit high with that pass to Ross Jones there, put him under a little bit of pressure. And you know, when the conditions are as greasy as they are now, the rain, as you're right to say, is coming down, and you know, they'll just be a little bit disappointed. Both sides will be a little bit disappointed with the mistakes they're making. They're not quite keeping the ball for long enough. Both sides are just giving the ball back a little bit, you know, cheaply. You know, Ayr just lost a line out far side. Heriots have just given the ball back, and interestingly going into a 3-man line out here just to make it a little bit easier for them. A little short, sneaky one.
Oh, that's sneaky. The sub hooker came on Ali Johnson with no number on his back. That took the throw in at the other side just a moment ago, and a quick one which caught Ayr off guard. Here's Hughes, the other sub Heriots have made in the last couple of minutes. Flung out there by Wilson, using the width of the pitch here, rushing up, and now Simpson, but it goes out of play. McMichael was there, but just ran out of road. Did Heriots trying to fling it forward, but Ayr are really up in their faces.
Yeah, they're closing the gate quite quickly from in the outside channel, and you know, Heriots are trying to get to an edge. They're just at the moment, as I think we've said for the first 33 minutes, there's just been too many mistakes, just giving the ball back too far, a little bit too quickly, you know, from one phase, and then just giving the other team the ball. So, you know, both sides will just want to keep it a little bit longer. When Ayr kept the ball for a long time, they got penalties, they got into the far side, and they eventually scored from it. So, you know, it's just about keeping the ball. And look, there's another turnover we see from another line out.
Yeah, and here comes Johnston picking up at the back. Heriots now having this good phase of play over the last few minutes. There's the curse. Quickly burrowed away by Ward. So quicker and quicker the game. Another little slip. It really is getting a bit greasy. Keep it calm, thinking about being auxiliary. Scrum half bit, they're going to come back. Will be a scrum. It's flashed by the game though. It's only 5 minutes to half time.
Well, it certainly has. It's, you know, both sides are really trying hard to play. They're both really trying hard to, you know, I think the way they both played in the league final, they'll both be desperate to kind of finish the season off like that. You know, it's been a long season, you know, a huge opportunity for Ayr to get the double, but also a huge massive opportunity here for Heriots to kind of get a little bit of revenge as well. But you know, both coaches, you know, Pete Murchie at Ayr and Phil Smith at Heriots, they're not the kind of coaches that are just going to say, look, let's win this game 9-6. They want to go and score, they want to get tries, so they want to keep playing whatever the weather.
Well, it's been a rare thing in this first half at Heriots. I've kind of won a mini duel in the scrum. We've got a free kick here. Going to go for another scrum though. Yeah, Peter Murray, first year as a full-time coach, and certainly done some great stuff with this Ayr side. And Heriots, Peter Smith really talked about how Heriots is great for them to be on this BT Murrayfield stage at the end of the season, hoping to showcase themselves on the club in front of a decent crowd and plenty of you watch at home, so thanks for joining us. Penalty, Heriots. How things have turned round in the scrums. That's been one or two changes in the Heriots side, so I wonder if that's perhaps making a little bit of an impact.
Yeah, it's interesting that the scrum, there has been a couple of penalties back and forward. Scrum penalties both ways. Ayr started off with more dominance than the Heriots lads, but they'll be pleased to get that. The scrum penalty. We've got 36 minutes on the clock. They're kicking for goal here, and the chance to go in at half time in the lead in a game that both sides are they're just playing with each other. They're not quite. There's not real dominance from either side. So the Heriots lads will be hoping this penalty goes over to get in at half time in the lead.
So it is Ross Jones, 27-year-old. Mentioned before, former Welsh Sevens international, had played youth Welsh rugby as well. Spell at Ospreys and Rotherham. Long way out on the 10-metre line. Has got a big boot. This to take the lead. That's not going to go. It is not got the height really, let alone right accuracy. So fairly comfortable. Not sure if he just hit it as cleanly as he wanted.
No, he didn't quite get a hold of that one. He was, it was quite a distance though. It's sometimes when a little bit further out, you try and kick it a little bit harder, and you don't quite get your technique quite the same. So, you'll not be happy with that. But it's still a dropout, and Heriots will get the ball back just outside their own 22.
Challenging from Blaine. Keep hold of the ball for the Heriots side. On halfway, 90 seconds left in this first half. Ayr remain in front. Bowling around, skipping around. Went backwards though, so they're going to fling it across there. Kelly initially. A little barge over the halfway line. But Heriots player down. Side still carrying on, having to play with 14 at the moment, and watch out. And there's Hughes. Play by Simmers. Back it comes Simpson. Michael with some extra space. Sesford in there, back, Summers across. The wonderful rugby, wonderful wall across by Blaine. And it's going to be sensational! It's into the corner! And it is Struan. And Heriots have turned this around right before half time.
That's an excellent score from Heriots. They've really kind of changed the way they played there. They weren't going outside too early there. You are an excellent pass there from Ian Wilson, and just the cutting back on the inside from Struan just shows the good rugby playing ability of these guys. Struan's been involved with national 7 squads, but it was interesting. Heriots there kept the ball for a little bit longer, got to the middle of the field, came back again short side just to keep the ball for that longer, and narrowed up the Ayr defence. And then Rory McMichael made the extra man, just coming round the edge, and then some good play by the back row who just hung around on the outside.
And just a note in the middle of that, they're basically playing with 14 because they had down there Ali Johnson, so it looks like Michael Innes has had to come back on. It will be the last kind of play with this kick though. So Jones then for a 5-point lead at half time. Kind of snuck up there, haven't they, Heriots? Another good final 10-12 minutes. As soon as they got that second response from Ayr's second try, making full use of the time to read those posts. Just going to sneak away, and that'll do for the first half. What a quick first half. It's been tense, it's been a bit cagey, been some good rugby, some good tries, a few mistakes in there, but as I just said, Heriots have kind of snuck up on things, and they've really had a great end to that first half, and they lead by 15 points to 12.
No, they'll be pleased with that. They'll be pleased with the way they finished there, and you know, it wasn't an ideal start to the game for the Heriots boys. I thought there was a wee bit few too many mistakes, but then just after Ayr had scored the second try, Heriots, they just seemed to hold on to the ball that little bit longer. You know, they were winning. They got a couple of scrum penalties. So they just got a little bit more, I wouldn't say dominance up front, but the fact that they weren't giving away penalties, they kept the ball, and you know, two good tries. You know, just a good way to finish there. And Struan's Dure's finish, I thought, was excellent.
There's confirmation then of the score. It's rather gloomy BT Murrayfield now, as the sun has pretty much disappeared, and the grey clouds and rain are in show. So there is the half-time scoreline. We're going to take a pause for the moment, but we are just going to take a little breather from here. But we're going to have a little look back to the semi-finals. It was exciting semi-finals. Ayr defeated Melrose, and Hawick were defeated by Heriots so narrowly. Two exciting matches, and as we take a pause, let's have a little look at how they got here to the final. And particularly interesting with the game between Heriots and Hawick, 31-29. Very, very tight there. And the other one, well, it was fairly close as well between Melrose and Ayr. Ayr on the road in that one, but they got the job done against the Border side. Right, so 15-12 here in this final. Let's have a little look at the tries in this first half with Brian Eason. And well, it was a quick start from Ayr in the opening 5 minutes.
It was, and that was, that came from a scrum. It was a first phase play, and Paddy Kelly's wide pass to Kyle Rowe, who finished it really well under pressure there, and that kind of set the tone. And then the second try, this was Robbie Smith, and this was after the Heriots front five had been carrying really, the Ayr front five had been carrying really hard into the Heriots pack, and they'd put Heriots under an awful lot of pressure. You see Robert Kay just getting a little bit tight there in the ruck, and then Robbie Smith against Josh Scott just manages to get over, and we looked at 12-3 there. You looked as if Ayr were kind of just up a little bit, but then Heriots started attacking them, as we said, a little bit differently. Had that inside pass from Robert Kay to Jack Blaine, and then Charlie Simpson finishing off. That was a cute little play just against an Ayr defence who were coming up quite hard on the outside, so they attacked them on the inside, and a really good support line from Charlie Simpson. And then we saw Heriots attacking, more again the short side against Ayr, and then for the final try they started going wide, and as you see, Rory McMichael made the extra man along with Ian Wilson, who then Struan Dewar just in that little step, just showing his skills, his 7 skills as well, just to finish off in that left corner. So, Ayr would be happier at the start of the game, and then Heriots probably happier nearer half time.
Yeah, and just that little cushion, thanks to that penalty in between the two Ayr tries, means that Heriots have that advantage, 15 points to 12, and see some of the celebrations for the Heriots side who have the lead in this first half. So a couple of good tries in that first half, hopefully one or two more in the second period, but it's been a terrific season in the club game once again. Let's have a little look at some of the best tries. Here's the top 10 of the season. Okay, it doesn't look like, unfortunately, we're going to get the VT, but there has been some good tries this season, and you can check out the stuff on the Scottish Rugby YouTube page. We'll take a pause then for the moment. We'll be back in a few minutes for the second half here. The half-time score once again, Ayr 12, Heriots 15.
BT Murrayfield back on your feet here as we welcome our finalists in the 2019 Scottish Cup Final, Ayr and Heriots.
Welcome back, and we are almost set for the second half here at BT Murrayfield on this silver Saturday. It's out, Ayr just making their way out just now. It has been a busy day on the main pitch here. We had a thrilling game with Aberdeenshire just narrowly edging out Dundee University Medics 34-31, and then Berwick, well, extraordinary for the Berwick side, who were well downing against Greenock Wanderers, got themselves to level terms and then won 57-35 in the end in extra time. Stewartry winning in the women's plate on the back pitch 24-19 against Glasgow University. Livingston against Greenock Wanderers is on at the moment, and then after this game we saw Alaba is the place for Hillhead John Hill against Watsonians. Underway then for the second period in this final, the cup final, the 24th edition since the inaugural one back in 1995-96, which Hoyk ran out narrow winners over Watsonians. Early quick running then from Grant Anderson from Ayr, who are behind here after scoring 2 tries. Had the cushion, not for long though, when they went 12-3 up. It was very quickly shut down with a couple of tries by Heriots. Set up nicely for War. Crashing in there is Sace, a bit ugly, but in the end very ugly because they've lost the ball. Nipped through there by Jones, and it's just trickled away.
That was a clever kick there by Jones, Ross Jones, just on a turnover like that. You see a team getting turned over in that half. You could the Ayr back three were attempting to attack, so nobody really at home in the backfield. So you know, a good little kick through, and they've obviously got a little bit of deflection as well. So they've also got the ball back. So Heriots will be a little bit pleased. Ayr will be disappointed again after the coaches, I'm sure, at half time were saying, look, let's keep on hold of the ball a little bit longer. When you do, you're putting the opposition under pressure. Ayr have done it, and then within the first minute, Rory Sace has lost the ball at the contact.
Confirmation just with the Heriots change there, with Linus going off just before the half-time break and Johnson coming back on, or Johnson coming back off for Linus to come back on rather. They've been switching around and switching jerseys, the works, the two hookers. But it was a little bit of a nasty one that Johnson got, so he was limping off. Heriots now go from deep. Still trying to drive those legs there, Simpson. Scored opening Heriots try. Time for Climo. That'll stumble at time there for Stuart Edwards, and another two wry cheers from the crowd. Shocking behaviour, but all in good spirit.
I'm sure that'll be the Stuart Melville pupils cheering their teacher. Surprised they didn't give him a cheer for his kick originally before that, you know, Mr. Edwards. But look, no, again, both sides of the kicking game not brilliant, not really putting each other under pressure, and again, it's just both sides just need to just relax, get control of the ball for a little bit longer, and once they do, as I say, or as we saw earlier on in the first half, they score tries from keeping the ball for that little bit length of time.
Lofted and quickly away. Turning a spin there was neat in the middle of that move from Climo. Far out of War, and a couple of really good passes, and now a little burst forward. Good stuff there from Anderson. Now taking on his row, he scored the opening try. Penalty though for Heriots. Yeah, certainly having another two having a chat with the referee about that decision.
It looks like he's doing the guy Grant Anderson just for the clear out there. I think if you look here, there's Kyle Rogers carrying in there. We're looking at number 15, I think here.
Yeah, no
here
arms.
he comes. Here's Grant Anderson coming in here. Yep, a swinging arm against Struan Cessford, the prop. That's just a silly penalty. That's something I thought. Some of the intricate play there from Ayr was excellent. Grant Anderson actually gave a really good support line on the inside, and which allowed Rowe to go. But then it's just a little bit of indiscipline there. And look at that. Look, it's a good spot for Heriots to go. They have been down here in the game already, but they lost, I think, their second or third line out. So they'll just want to get this right and just get the ball into the heart of the Ayr defence.
Okay, so it is Linus. It's a good play, but that is a knock on. That's another silly error in there. And a rare one, really, for Edwards. Now look at the move, which worked out really well to start with, but very quickly ended.
The ball was just floating away from him a little bit there, and it's a difficult one to take. And I see this is Jack McLean coming back on again at 7. Big Jason Hill as well. Some experienced boys coming on there for Heriots. Jason Hill coming on there at 19. You've got Rory Leishman at 18. Some big boys coming off.
Yep, there is players coming off. Neil Sinclair, Struan Dewar is where Martin Hughes coming back off for now. So 5 minutes into the second period, Heriots now starting to really utilise their bench. There's a air scrum then for Harry Waugh. Penalty to Heriots. And then Edinburgh Club here got a chance to extend their lead, perhaps.
An interesting one. Stevie Longwell is under pressure there, and you saw them. You could see he dropped his bind there. His right shoulder there just goes in, and Josh Scott will be pleased with that there. They've been under pressure the first half, first scrum of the second half. A good penalty for the Heriots to have just in front of their own post. But where the frustrations are lying at the moment, I think, with both sides is that when they do give the ball, they're giving it back a little bit too cheap. Stuart Edwards knocking on there, which was too easy. Ayr then get the scrum. They then give away a penalty, and it just seems to be that both sides they seem more keen for the other side to have the ball at the moment.
So Ross Jones extend the lead to 6 points. Looks good, looks very good, straight and true. And first blood of the second half goes to Heriots, 18 points to 12.
Penalty for Heriots, scored by number 13, Ross Jones.
Bit of a hands galore in there, but it's with Heriots side and Rory Leishman, one of the other subs that came on in that front line. So went out all the way back. It's going to go.
Yeah, that's just it's a lack of concentration there because the ball has been passed back in. 10 got it outside the 22, passing back into Jones. He's then just thought he's just lost concentration, and it's just a silly little bit. Look, Heriots, that's 15 unanswered points now for Heriots. Ayr will be, they'll just want to get the ball back in. They'll just want to keep it easy, line it inside the 22, and let's just see how they go from here.
Good take. However, that is one that is really frustrating. Run into your own man, and they took the ball well, and then accidental offside. I feel like we haven't said before at all in this game anything about silly little errors. I don't know.
Yeah, there's been a few, and I think being a coach myself, and having been involved in games like that, that's the most frustrating thing for a coach, is that when we've seen Heriots keep the ball and when we've seen Ayr keep the ball, they've really put the opposition under pressure. And it's not been doing silly things. It's not been throwing silly wide passes. It's just been simple plays, simple carries, and just the phases have been putting defences under pressure. However, both sides, when they have made mistakes, have been in the first, second phases, but they've just not really consolidated for long enough.
Now the arm is aloft again here for Heriots. Just need a little spark here to really get the second half flying. Been a bit bitty so far. A little bit of a chat going on here at Stephen Longwell and the captain Pete McCallum. I think perhaps a bit of a final warning for these infringements. So decent length there from Jones. Well, as well as their 4 wins, it is their 6th appearance in the cup final. Not bad in 24 years. Right at the back there, just keeping hold is Dewar. It's that little pat in the backside there just to keep it going there from Simmers. That's good strength or what? Just marshalling it, and they're kind of good. Roland Mall going here. Been impressing international team playing on this pitch, let alone a club team. Eventually comes out. Edwards flung it across, and now space. Little kick on there for McMichael. Just dribbles out, but nice idea and good stuff there from Simpson.
Yeah, clever little play there from Heriots. They'll be, that was a 10-metre line out drive. A 6+1 line out. Jason Hill at the back, just driving them forward. They then have a go to the edge of the attack there, and Simpson, you just look at Charlie Simpson, just the winger, just as the winger comes up there and the full-back's beginning to close, they know that their space is going to be in behind, and a clever little kick. That's Kyle Rowe, the far side winger, that's him covering across there. But good play from Heriots. There was a line out far side on the halfway. They're now they're going to put Ayr under a lot of pressure down in this bottom corner.
1 or 2 more, I think, little mini running repairs going on there. One of the Ayr players, that's probably more for tiredness, I think, more than anything at this time of the game. It's a tough,
it's a tough pitch to play on. It's a big pitch, that it takes a lot out the legs. That's really safe. That's the loose head prop. These guys do a lot of running, and that's when you take your hats off to the game before it. The Berwick game before it, these guys were playing for 80 minutes, and then they had to play another 20 afterwards. So. They'll certainly be enjoying their beers after this, but it's tough for these lads. A lot of running for them, and especially there's been a lot of scrums as well.
Yeah, Sace is okay though, just a little run repairs over and gets a breather. And down there is Smith, taken by this Ayr side, and now they're looking to just clear themselves away, and it's a good roll forward from the side defending that line. Just been watched there at the back there. Spinks and McCallum around. There is War. It doesn't go out though, and taken by McMichael, who came in for the side for this final. And for Marky Craig Robertson. Now switch there to Kay. Support wide there in Blaine. Oh, no one there thought, and why is it going to be picked up though? It may well be. I think that's Johnson. Well, Johnson's number initially, but Linus with it now for Heriots, the hooker. And in the end, it's came to a little bit of a scrappy end, but Heriots were delighted it's back with them after a great initial break.
Yeah, look, it was a good pass. Robert Kay, Ross Jones, it was a poor pass there. They were both, all they needed actually was somebody running a little bit shorter for him, but it was a poor pass away. But a little knock on from the Ayr boys who were trying to pick that up again. So, you know, Heriots will be, they're lucky to have the ball back. They'll be pleased to have the ball back. But, you know, it was a good counter-attack started by Jack Blaine on the left-hand side. They get to the centre. They then carry on. Robert Kay, who's had a good game so far, to get it out to Ross Jones. But, you know, as I say, a loose pass, but a little knock on from the Ayr boys.
Referee just making sure the scrum is set, being the story of the game. Pops out, Simmers takes his time, sets it up. Flying across by Edwards, and there's Simpson. What a pass there across McMichael. McMichael is going to go, is he? Yes, he does! And a real margin now for Heriots, and there is the big score in the second half, early on in the second half, and it goes to the Edinburgh side.
You know, a really good play there actually from the Heriots boys. There was a good dummy line, a couple of dummy lines from the midfield. You look at that, Stuart Edward gets it, 12 and 13 split, and Rory McMichael comes off the blind side. But then look at that little pass from Charlie Simpson to Jack Blaine. Jack Blaine's got a lot to do there, coming off his left foot, but then changing off his right foot and beating 3 defenders coming back. But that little flip from Charlie Simpson, but Jack, I thought excellent there, a great handoff against Fraser Climo, and then just to finish off with that outstanding finish from Jack Blaine, but a good bit of play from Charlie Simpson, a little pass out the back.
This is the chance to really add another 2 points and would stretch the legs further. Few intakes of breath for the big 13, the Welshman. That's curling, it's curling superbly. It's now 25-12 here, and well, the last 12 minutes of the first half and the first 12 or 13 minutes of the second half, what a turnaround on the scoreboard.
Huge turnaround. That's 22 unanswered points there for Heriots, and you know they have the difference in the scrum. They're putting the Ayr scrum under pressure. They're getting scrum penalties, and that, you know, that's as good a score you'll see from a first phase as well.
Time taken here. Summers doesn't get a huge amount on it, but some safety.
Substitutions being made by Ayr. Leaving the pitch, number 4, David Corbinici, being replaced by number 18.
So David Corbinici has made way for Alfie North for Ayr, so they start to use their changes a bit more.
Patrick Kelly being replaced by number 22.
So Patrick Kelly, one Glasgow Warriors player who's playing for Ayr today, is off in that centre area. Robin Nairn is coming on, the third Glasgow Warriors player, and the 3 that's in the Ayr squad have been released. They need the next try, you suspect. And there, it's been marshalled at the back there by War. Slow down a bit, but War burrows it out. Bill trying to pop it in. Oh, and the pass not quite coming, perhaps as wanted. Morris coming in now. McCallum, talismanic figure, feels like he's been around for forever, but he's only in his mid-20s. War back out. There's Morris again with that magic headband. They need some magic here though. Climo going to fling out to the other side. There's a disruption there. Is it an illegal disruption, or is it the referee that it hit?
I think it's just hit the referee there, just a little play again, just trying to hit the inside of the Heriots defence, and the referee's just, Keith Allen just got himself in the way, unfortunately for him. Here we go, we just see it, Climo gives it to, and then on the inside he just hits the referee from a pass from Stafford McDowell.
I don't think you can give a penalty against the referee, so it'll just have to do with the scrum.
He maybe could have gone the length though.
So still in a good position, but will be from the scrum. So tick towards the hour mark. Just time taken, even the loudest of supporters just taking a little bit of breath. Why not when a scrum's just taking that a little while to set? Might get away this time. It's creaking a little bit, but away it goes onto Climo now, and support following up. Not really going too far forward, and then Spinks around. Also some support from Morrison. McCallum still with Ayr. Oh, the hand coming in, and that's going to be a clear as you like penalty.
Yeah, you can just see the Ayr lads are just trying to play, working these little inside passes a wee bit, and you know, Heriots have been really quite cute. Here we are, here if Climo gives it here again, it's McDowell start passing on the inside, and it's Ian Wilson I think just going for that. Yeah, Ian Wilson himself just going. It's a tough one because he's going for the tackle as well, his hands in there trying to wrap, but he's been caught. So an interesting call for the Ayr boys, apparently just outside of 22, but Climo's just knocked it into the corner for a 5 metre line out.
It's one of those we've seen earlier where, you know, you're trying to catch a ball and you knock it on and it's a penalty. In that case, no, is there much difference, or would you police that any differently if you could get away with not giving penalties for things like that?
Look, it's the letter of the law now, but he's actually put his hand in to make the tackle. You know, his left hand's come in, but the ball's gone back on the inside. But you look, it was obvious that pass was going to come in, so an easy penalty call for the referee.
Taken the well there by McPherson, has looked to burrow forward to their 5 metre shot. Role models have been pretty good from both sides. They've got a penalty here. What are they going to do with it? They're going to keep on trying to batter forward. So I think Smith the one perhaps at the back. More leverage coming in. Sace across there. McPherson too. They're inching closer. Inching closer. Next try is important. And there is the signal for a penalty rather than the try. Keith Allen in the position to see nothing coming from it, not grounded. They go for another line out.
Yeah, looks like they've just gone for the same for the next line out again. They've just gone for the line out call. I'm quite sure what that penalty was for. I didn't quite see it because I didn't see Heriots competing the air for it, so it must maybe just coming in from the side there, I think. But I think Ayr will go for the same again. It was thrown up the front to number 6, Blair McPherson. So it'll be interesting to see where they go this time. Same again.
Not quite as clean this time, and is intercepted in there by Leishman, I think, and it's just been cleared, so it will come back for Ayr, but it certainly disrupted the flow of that move.
Yeah, again, it'll be, you know, it's been Ayr Achilles' heel today. Unfortunately, their line out, I've counted 5 or 6 line outs that they've lost now. You know, the first one they get a simple penalty, they then went back again. It was just a little overthrow to the front. So look, they'll be wanting to get this again. It's just frustrating for the boys in pink.
Marshall trying to decoy it, but taken down. Spinks and now Smith joins the back of that line again, a bit further out than the previous one, so it'll be a long way to go to try and get this close to the try line. Hands coming in there. Dewar trying to disrupt it. Now it's going to have to go to the ground, and they'll have to try and release it, trying to get it out there. They've done pretty well to get it out there. Looked a bit dicey at one stage. Now there could be some space wide. Spinks. Ayr needing the next try to close their ears, close the gap. Smith coming in to try and defend. North in there too. Longwell still got some energy from back Muscle and Anderson. North adding a couple of centimetres of space forward as that dropped it is, and sliding in there Ian Wilson. He doesn't really miss anything, the Heriots captain. That's going to be punted away to safety. Is it going to stay in? It is going to stay in. Kyle Rowe will have to take on a few players. Getting close to that touchline. Ayr reset though. Smith. Hamill goes down the other side, mark taken. Ayr, a bit frustrating for them.
Yeah, they'll be frustrated. They're obviously 13 points behind. They're really, they don't need to force it just yet. They've still got 17 minutes left on the clock, but they'll be disappointed just with it. Two or three times they've had the opportunity to just lose the ball a little bit too cheaply. And here there were a couple of changes here. Heriots making a change at the halfback 9 and 10. So interesting just to see what they're going to do now. Stuart Edwards, a couple of good kicks. Couple of loose ones but he'll be pleased with his afternoon's work so far anyway.
Just showing this about Ayr really started well with that try in the opening 5 minutes from Kyle Rowe. Heriots reduced their ears with a penalty, but then Smith scored, and at one stage with the conversion it was 12-3 they led. But since then, the points have only came the other direction. Heriots with 2 tries before half time and 2 in this second period. Moore looking for a penalty. They do have the advantage here. Spinks. Penalty does come.
Yeah, there's a little penalty against Jason Hill, who's just, since he's come on though, he's actually, I think he's done really well. He's been a pest at the breakdown, and him. I'll be honest, the back row for Heriots have been good this second half. They've just slowed the ball down for Ayr a little bit. They've just not quite got the clean ball that they had in the first half when they were 12-3 up, and they're just competing a little bit more at the breakdown and slowing everything down for Ayr.
Youngster Harry Orr, the young scrum half for Ayr. Certainly, you can tell he's a scrum half because they do tend to like to nip the referee looking for a decision. Some more treatment here. Struan Cessford down at the moment.
We're getting a bit of rest there, Struan. Again, a lot of scrummages have been going on in this game, and he's been a real stalwart for Heriots this season, and he has been for a long time. Ex-Dundee lad, he's played club international 15, and Struan's given an awful lot. Probably thought of as probably been one of the best tight heads in the league anyway, and a big man who's he's given a lot to that club.
Running repairs complete. 15 to play. Smith quickly to get on with it with the throw. Again, using their weight to really drive towards that 22. Heriots players having to go back. Still going here, goodness me. Eventually it comes out, a little pass in by McDowell. And there's another pass. Through the hearts, come here. And there is the reply. That was the try, and Patrick Climo comes in. He's a big player for this side and takes the adulation.
Yeah, really good set piece play there from Ayr, and the line and maul was excellent, but you can just see why, from the breakout 9 passes to 12. There's been a lot of that first phase play from Stafford just in at first receiver. a dummy line, but with Robbie Nairn out the back. Robbie Nairn's a very strong lad, difficult to put down. But look at that support line there from Fraser Climo. The timing was good, but the forwards can take a lot from that line out maul. Just a little breakout just as the Heriots defence were just having to come in and stop that. And then McDowell, simple play out the back to the blindside winger Robbie Nairn, and a cracking support line there from Fraser Climo to go into the post. 25-19 now, game on.
Yep, the conversion was good. Here's just a quick look at that. They're quick to get on with it. 25-19. 14 minutes left. We're in for another classic here at BT Murrayfield today. Hold on to those hats if you're wearing one.
Or a pink wig. There's a few pink wigs.
Yeah, they're shockers, I can tell you that. A few pink sunglasses and stuff as well. So they're the ones now with the upbeat thoughts because they're back in this. That's Ali Johnson, by the looks of things, has been back on for a few minutes. That playing number. Penalty there for Heriots, and that is not really, it's one of those things that I think coaches will go mad for when you score a try, and how often does it happen you can see a penalty a minute or two later?
Yeah, a little cheap one. Heriots, interesting little kick through. They managed to get the ball back, and then look a little penalty again. The discipline both sides will be disappointed with it. There's been a lot of set piece penalties, but some silly ones. Grant Anderson's one earlier on down in the 22 in the second half when they had a little bit more of a ascendancy. To then another one, just as you say, you score a try and then you give away a silly penalty. They are the things that really hurt a team.
So it's Heriots then with the chance that perhaps one more try for them might well feel could seal the deal. It's been a season where both sides have beat each other in the regular season in the league away from home, and Ayr got the win at home in the final. And I think a big shift here for Robbie Smith, who is heading off. Alexander Maguire coming on, and he's had some game, he's had plenty to do and been a bit of a force, and certainly the role molds that they've worked out quite well.
Yeah, I mean, Robbie scored a good try, he's been good round the park. They'll not be happy with their lineouts today. They lost too many lineouts for a team like Ayers. You never want to blame the hooker in that. There's throwing, there's lifting, there's jumping, there's timing, there's all these little things. But Robbie's certainly given Ayr a really good shift. He's getting his debut with Glasgow this year, but he's off to Bedford next year, and we wish him all the very best. There's Michael Linus getting a little bit more blood. He's certainly lost a bit of there today.
The hookers have had some afternoon for Heriots. So good position, 8 or 9 metres out roughly.
Now there's an interesting line out for you. That was a 10-man line out thrown into the middle to their outside centre, and then they lose it.
That's when a party trick goes wrong. Don't try it at home.
No, I mean look, I love seeing teams try that. I really do. They've obviously said themselves, look, we're in a cup final, let's try something different. Thrown up for an outside centre, he leapt like a salmon up there in the middle, but just a penalty against, unfortunately.
So just one there by Ayr, but referee with the ball going forward. So it's I think going to be a rather tense final 10 minutes. probably means there'll be a few more mistakes in there. But it's been high quality as well as these kind of little things, part of the nervous occasion of a cup final.
Yeah, look, it's a bit of an occasion, and there has been some real quality out there. And as I say, some of the set piece tries that have been scored, first phase plays. I think some of the play, just seen stuff from McDowell again at first receiver. He's clever with his hands. It's good to see he's a big man at 12, but he's got a deft touch. Charlie Simpson at fullback showing some great touches as well. So there's been a lot of stuff. Yeah, been a lot of mistakes, but also some really good play. Look, the Heriots forward pack has really stepped up the second half. They've really been dominant in the scrum. There's another penalty again. The line has probably been a little bit better. And if you were to put your finger on why they're ahead at the moment, you would just see their set piece has probably been a little bit more consistent than the Ayr set piece.
Well, that's a crucial penalty because this just takes things out of reach for Ayr. Again, certainly the one try zone could be costly here for the side trailing. Bit of a nervous, perhaps, glug of water.
It's exactly the same position that he had his one in the first half, probably just on the edge of his range. The first half he didn't quite catch it well enough, and kind of we had made a consideration whether it was just on the edge of his range and maybe he's kicking it a little bit harder. But we'll see this time. It's a fair kick. He's on the angle, 15-metre line on the angle, on the 10-metre line. So it'll be a good kick. But as you've already mentioned, that will just put them out of reach. 2 scores ahead.
Ross Jones to extend this lead to 9 points. Perhaps take it out of Ayr's reach completely. Not quite, as you said, Ryan, just on the edge of his reach and not quite for him.
No, I think it'll be a good lesson for him today. It's just, mind you saying that, on a week-to-week basis, you maybe be used to kicking like that, but in a bigger pitch like this at Murrayfield, it's a little bit harder for a kick like that.
Heriots were happy to keep hold of the ball in these closing 7 minutes left now. Perhaps they look to try and finish things off with a try of their own. Rory Carmichael now appearing off the bench, arm out though in Ayr's direction. They're going to win back. They've won this back, and Climball, little grubber, really get his own ball here. He doesn't quite. I expect him just to pick it up. It's taken back here by Jones. Flung out by Ball. Now on in that number 9 zone. So Heriots finishing off really their bench almost now with the rest of their players. A little slow here. Back out with Carmichael. Oh, look at this Ayr fighting back. They need a try and they fought it right back. Climb across. Perhaps chance in the break. Over halfway. Taking in McDowell. Not too many attacking chances. He's worked hard. Maguire, the second half sub in the last few minutes. The hooker. Limo trying to engineer it himself. Scored in the previous meeting earlier in the season in these two sides. And the away win at Heriots. Also scored to give Ayr life. The Kiwi. Dwyer in the middle of all that war. Not too many gaps there as trying to squeeze through is McDowell. Cross to Maguire. Patient, a bit like the try they scored a few minutes back. Just taking their time, trying to wriggle through Nairn. Another Glasgow Warriors release players. 1 or 2 complaints. Ayr have it back. Longwell in it out initially. Picked up by North at the base. The phases getting racked up. That was a little bit of a dance around, which is it cost Ayr the ball. It hasn't. War was in no man's land, didn't go forward. Oh, it's popped through here. Chance for McDowell. McDowell has gone for the corner! What a comeback! Still the kick to come, but Ayr have really lifelined themselves in the closing stages of this final.
Wow, we would expect nothing less of these finals at Murrayfield. It's been like this all day. The finals have been up till the last 2-3 minutes. Grant Anderson, just a little pick there. What a beautiful offload he makes. And Stafford inside, outside. Great little finish on the outside there. But you look at that ball in the right hand there, because he can use a handoff for his inside arm. He didn't need to use a handoff because of his step to the inside, feint on the inside, get to the outside and knocked into the middle. That was playing with 14 men because Fraser Climo was down injured, and they played that full lot of phases without their playmaker at 10 there. So an outstanding finish from Ayr, and again it just shows what they've been able to keep the ball for long periods of time. When they did, the defence drops off. Great score there from Stafford.
Climo's back to his feet for a massive kick. Is that a kick perhaps, which sends them to the double? Still will be time left in the clock. In 2013 they won the double. They've won this competition 3 times in the last decade. This could be number 4 if this goes over. He was the catalyst with the comeback in the second half. Fraser Climo, it's not quite coming, it's not quite coming. Oh, the tension, oh, the tension. Head and hands for some of the fans. Some are cheering because they know they're back in it. 3 minutes to play. Drama again at BT Murrayfield today.
Look at that kick just coming in. It looked as if it was going, and then it just drops off at the end. Just not enough power in that kick at the end. But what a final 3 minutes we have here left at Murrayfield.
Heriots restart, 1 point in front. It's not been quite the absolute flash brilliance of chaotic but astounding Premiership final, but it's turned into an absolute nail-biter for the 3rd game today on this main Murrayfield pitch. Heriots now looking to try and tick down some time. They are 2.5 minutes away from history, still in front to become the most successful side in this competition to date. And the penalty there for Heriots in the middle of that. Just trying to sort things out now. There's going to be 1 or 2 interesting conversations as it's getting to that time where Heriots can perhaps finish it once and for all.
Yeah, I think these guys there, the Ayr boys, will be a little bit frustrated there. Just, Heriots were wanting to keep the ball. It was a long time to keep the ball for 2.5 minutes, but look, they've kept the ball, they've got a penalty, and this is just, look, you know what they're going to do here. They're going to let the clock tick down. If they do kick for goal, they'll certainly take a minute to kick it.
Going to be just a conversation between the referee and the assistant.
There was a little off the ball incident there. I think the referee speaking to his assistant there. I think one of the there was maybe a little late hit that just off the ball that ended up with one of the Heriots boys on the floor.
So just a quick chat with Pete McCallum. So penalty confirmed. So instead of going for the kick, they're going to take the time really here, and it will be just eat a few seconds. Here's confirmation of the man of the match of the game. It's been given to Charlie Simpson, and I don't think there were 1 or 2 really good performances, but I don't think there's too many doubts about that.
No, I think Charlie, he scored a great try first half. The little flip out the back for the try in the second half that Jack Blaine scored as well. I think Ian Wilson's been excellent in the back row for the Heriots. Stafford McDowell's been good for Ayr as well, but I think Charlie Simpson certainly deserves that man of the match award today.
Heriots keeping hold, just watching on there. At the back there is Ball. Bit of a mess going on there. Ayr trying their best, but there's only 30 seconds to go.
Great to see Stuart Mustard getting on there for Heriots as well. What a player and what a time he's had at the club, and just to see him getting on in the final here at Murrayfield and getting involved in this last play of the game.
Yeah, he's a club legend, number 17. 39 next month, 20th year at the club as the countdown is on, but there is a penalty to Ayr. They're going to have to go a long way. Now we've seen a bit more of the free-flowing Shield final where Berwick decided to run with their penalties, but the more measured approach of take the territory, take the set piece.
Yeah, obviously with the laws of the game now, even at the 80 minutes when you get a penalty, you've still got time to get the line out. So a clever player, great kick by Climo, left-footed up to that far side, and this is where the Ayr will certainly want to just keep the ball, using their players like McDowell, getting the forwards carrying ball as well. So a final play for Ayr, big thing for them is to get the set piece right first.
So Alex McGuire has to get this right, does get it right, taken by McPherson. Final chance for Ayr. A converted, a try or a penalty will do. They're inching forward, just at the back there. Watch out as War. It's somehow still going here. They haven't to watch the touchline, but the penalty signal will come. Arm went out.
Yeah, look at Ayr, we're driving through there. You just look at, you saw the Heriots players were trying to, it looked like Struan Sethford just came in from the side there and just took that line out there. And you think of where we've come from. We were down in the far side, far 22 with Heriots. They give away a penalty. Ayr have kicked to the far 10. They've then gone and kicked to the corner, but they've now got a penalty. So look, massive way to finish. What a kick for Fraser Climo to end this game.
This would make up for the conversion that he didn't get. And this is the dramatic moment. 1 or 2, can't believe it. The tension palpable with the players on the pitch, and for the fans right below us here in the West Stand. It's been a dramatic day of rugby, and this cup final has been tense, nail-biting, and the drama has really upped as the second half has went on. Fraser Climo, catalyst for the try in the second half and the comeback. Fortunately missed the conversion for McDowell's try. Penalty here, throw. It's almost silent here. It's through the middle, and the Pink Panthers are roaring. What a second half comeback! Ayr are champions again in the BT Cup. It's the double again for Ayr. Quite extraordinary.
Wow, look at the celebrations on that pitch and at the sidelines there. All these Ayr supporters, they're the pink wigs, they'll not be caring what they look like now. They'll be kind of ecstatic there. The celebrations on the pitch, What a finish. I feel heart sorry for the Heriots players, scoring in 22 unanswered points, then Ayr came back into it again, and then to hold your nerve, what a kick from Fraser Climo.
Let's look at that again. No doubts about that one.
What an outstanding strike. Left foot, the left side of the pitch, the left foot. It's a difficult kick for it's a wrong side for him, the perceived wrong side for him, especially after he just missed a kick 2 minutes before that in the same position, to then come out and put a kick in like that. What a finish to the game.
Ayr have had a rich history in the game, but this last decade is something else for this rugby club. They finally found themselves to be top flight champions in 2008 and 9. They've won it 4 times, the Premiership, including this year. They're now 4 times Scottish Cup champions, now joint best with Heriots, Boroughmuir and Melrose. What a decade, almost 10 years to this week or two when they won their first league title, that they've won and had so much success in the last 10 years.
Yeah, what a season for them. Pete Murchie's first season with them, to win the double, 10 years. What a successful club. You've got to say to them, you look at that game as well, and you think about the history that they've got as well. They stuck in, they kept going. For a lot of teams, they would have just kind of switched off last play of the game, but then to get that penalty. So, look at the supporters happy. They've obviously had a wonderful day out, but then to see their team kick a penalty in the last play of the game, it's just been the way the cup finals have gone here today.
I doubt there'll be many of those wigs and pink glasses that'll make it back to Millbrae. There was a disco planned at Millbrae tonight for their supporters. That was going to happen, whatever else. It's going to be fever pitch there this evening. For Heriots, so close. They had a lead, a 10-point lead, which I wouldn't say threw away, because it was a sensational first half in the Premiership final, and it was to-ing and fro-ing. And then this occasion, we talked about the unanswered points. Heriots just quietly bounced back either side of half-time, and he didn't feel like Ayr would find that way to engineer their way back, but somehow they did and found that resolve.
They did, and there was a couple of really good plays for me. I think Stafford McDowell I thought was excellent today, and the try that they came back into the game, when the Heriots were 25-12, for it to go 25-19 when Fraser Climo scored under the posts, that was a little bit of magic from Stafford. There was a dummy runner 13 putting the ball out the back to Robbie Nairn, and for Climo to run that line, and then Stafford McDowell scored himself in the far side. That was a little breeze from Grant Anderson, a little offload, and then Stafford scoring in the corner, which allowed them just to, was a point in it, but then Heriots, obviously they had to keep the ball, gave away a penalty, and then came back into the game. So there was mistakes. Neither side will be overly happy with their set pieces, but my God, both sides stuck in, and it was another exciting game of rugby here at Murrayfield. What a day! What another game for Silver Saturday.
Absolutely, but if you look at the tail of the season, Heriots 24, Ayr 32, a close game. Heriots run like fairly comfortable winners against Ayr 25 points to 7, but then that final 3 weeks back 29-23, and then we've had 27-25 in Ayer's favour. It just shows that these two sides have been the best two club teams in Scotland, and fair play, they've both put up a great product in the final, in the regular season, in the league final, and in this cup final.
Yeah, look, and I think it's right having the best two sides of the season out here for the final game of the season in the cup final, and what a show they put on for us to, for the game to be, we didn't know who was winning up to the last kick of the game. It was just, it was an excellent thing, but to see these to the Ayr supporters, flying their flags, they'll be ecstatic about what's been going on, and just you can see the happiness in the way they are, just throwing their arms about. But the Heriots lads coming up the steps there can be proud of the way they played, especially proud of the way they came back into the game being so far behind and then scoring 22 unanswered points. So they'll be disappointed, they'll be absolutely gutted from what went on because of the last play, but I think you're right, two best sides of the season, and hats off to the Ayr boys for winning the double.
And here come the Heriots players. Actually, in the end, it's very rarely that a man in the match goes to a player from the losing team. In the end, it's amazing. We gave it to Charlie Simpson, gave him his Sunday name, and he's quite rightfully was superb, as there were one or two other players. But in the end, he's 90 seconds before the end, he was in the winning team, and then that penalty, and he's now in the losing team.
Yeah, and look, it's never a nice thing to happen, especially when you're ahead in such a big game of the season, the last game of the season as well, and he'll be absolutely gutted, the lad, and there he is getting his runners-up medal along with Struan Sesford, Stuart Edwards. These boys have they've really given an awful lot to the club. They've been around a long time. Stuart Mustard at the end. I mean, yeah, I think you were saying 20 years at one club. It would have been a brilliant way for him to finish off getting a winner's medal, but it just wasn't to be. And there's the referees receiving their medals for the day also.
Yeah, Keith Allen, Finlay Brown, and Ian Kelly, the three on-field officials, and they had a busy game trying to sort out not necessarily anything too disciplinary, but a few fiddly and niggly fouls, penalties given away really. But yeah, they're just heading down, and now here come the Ayr side, and big noise and big cheer from the supporters in pink.
Yeah, look at them, look at the supporters. They're just having a great day out, and it's great to see. There's Grant Anderson going up with these two kids. What a special moment that is for Grant and for his kids to go up and receive that medal. Tommy Spanks and Harry Warren, and it's brilliant for these lads. Kyle Rose scored another try today. He scored two in the final. What a season it is for Ayr, and I'm sure, as you say, 90 seconds to go. I'm sure they were all thinking, it's been a disappointing season, but what a season for them to finish and get the double.
And rattling through, there's been some performances, not just today, but throughout the season, that have been sensational. For Ayr, and one or two that may well see in the future with the pro sides that are part of the academy.
Nice to see Stafford McDowell. I thought Stafford was excellent for Ayr today. And Stafford, he's a young lad who is, he was in the academy. He's now, he's he was in the Six Nations squad this year. He was previously Scotland under-20 captain. To see the performance that these guys are putting in, and there's the backroom staff as well. Guys like Glenn Tippett. Glenn's been around for a while, played for Ayr himself, and it's great to see everybody being involved, and it's a great event for Ayr. And there's Pete McCallum just about to come up and get the trophy.
Well, it was almost 10 years ago to this week where they won their league title. Damien Kelly lifting the trophy. A decade on, league winners once again, and Pete McCallum lofts the BT Cup once again, and it ends the most remarkable decade for this rugby club. Ayr are your BT Cup winners. They are your double winners for 2018-19. What scenes? Fabulous scenes.
Oh, it's great scenes for them. As I say, what a season, and it's a wonderful picture. That a lot of happy faces. Boys lifting the trophy. A lot of guys have won, league trophies for Ayr before. A lot of them have gone through. So a lot of them, they're club men, a lot of Ayr men in there. But to win a double, what a special way to finish a season.
It's been a terrific day with all the games on this pitch. There's still one game to come, the Ceremony Cup. John Elgett against Watsonians. I guess you might have a bit of a vested interest in this. It's on BBC Alba. That should be another, hopefully, decent game, which we've had plenty today.
Yeah, look, every single game has been outstanding. What a feast we've had. There's been some brilliant games out the back as well. A lot of the teams have played, some good rugby. It's been here all day. There's been people here since 11 o'clock this morning and playing. A great way to finish off with the ladies, the Women's Cup as well in the end. But look at the Berwick game just before this final here, where Berwick were excellent to come back into the game, and then you look at Ayr being excellent as well, and it's just showing you that the club rugby is alive. It's kicking, and there's an awful lot of good going on in club world.
So Ayr 27, Heriots 25. Let's look at the tries before we wrap up here. Let's go all the way back.
This is the first phase try. This is the one where we split the players, and Rory McMichael came in. Great timing of the pass. Just put the ball behind Charlie Simpson, but the little flip. But then Jack Blaine, that movement he had, the stepping off his left foot, stepping off his right foot, the handoff against I suppose the winner at the end, Fraser Climbing with a penalty. But great finish, and that was when Heriots were just in the ascendancy. They were coming in at the game, and then they were scoring all these points unanswered.
see the delight there in that. Then Ayr worked their way back into it from nowhere, really.
Yeah, that was the Stafford McDowell play we talked about. You know, he made that cracking little play, and then, you know, Robbie Nairn just came in, and when Robbie Nairn just, you know, he put that defence under pressure, and then that simple little line from Fraser Climo to go into the post, and, you know, that was you know, it was a good play, but it was the forwards. But then this is the one where Grant Anderson just took out two defenders, but then that was the inside-outside feint from Stafford McDowell, where, you know, he transferred the ball was in the left hand, which allows his right hand to make the handoff, but it wasn't required. But that was two good scores there from Ayr to come back into it, because at the time you felt that Heriots were just on top, and there you are. Look at that kick at the end. I mean, that's you know, it's a lot of nerve to put in a kick like that, you know, especially when you've just missed one from that position literally 2 minutes before.
They are the scenes there, and those 6 buses that have came from Milbrae. Watch out for them on the M8 and the M77 all the way back. Brian, thanks for your thoughts.
Thank you very much for having me. I've enjoyed my afternoon.
Thank you very much indeed. Enjoy the Cerabini Cup in Moves Alba. We leave it with the shots with Ayr as the victors in the most dramatic fashion. Final score, it finished here, Ayr 27, Heriots 25. A very good evening from us.